happening, guys? Welcome back to the first episode. The pilot was last week of the Ellinesh podcast. Today, we have a rundown. We have some new formats, and we have a lot of topics to get to. We'll try to go through them fast, but as always, we're talking about the latest developments in the gaming week, along with some other updates. This podcast will take place occasionally. We are also jump-starting the return of Ellinesh's channel, which is pretty exciting. We will be having some gameplay from that game called Dynasty Warriors All-Stars and Dead Cells.
It's just called Warriors All-Stars.
Warriors All-Stars, thank you. So, here's what we have today. We have 3 new headlines. A rundown, which is news topics from the latest gaming week. We have a currently playing section, which is what we're currently playing at the moment. An update, which is the main part of the show. And then we have the vocal point, which is our main focus of the show. Today's episode is called Anime's Place in Video Games. That'll be our finale. Next week we'll have a new vocal topic, hopefully. But as for right now, let's start with Bethesda. First of all, how are you today, Ellinesh? Okay. Let's begin. Bethesda says that the Elder Scrolls Legends might not come to systems that snub crossplay, aka Sony, who has blocked crossplay with other consoles, although Bethesda insists that they are not taking a shot at them, but many people will deem it to be obvious. If you haven't realized, Fortnite has become a sensation, but many people are enraged that Sony doesn't allow crossplay with other systems. Microsoft and Nintendo have taken shots at Sony with various tweets like you saw. And now it seems that big-name publishers might begin to snub Sony for their stance. We have a bunch of questions. I will run through all the questions first, and then I will ask him one by one. What is your opinion on the Fortnite craze? Has the craze made you consider playing it, or has the popularity driven you farther from it? Do you believe that people consider it a cool thing to shun things that are popular, such as games, or anime, or movies? The first part of that was, what is your opinion on the Fortnite craze?
I don't particularly care.
Do you believe that it is a good thing to shun things just because they're popular, or should you give things a chance?
You should give things a chance.
Many people believe that Xbox won the Xbox 360 versus PS3 era, and that Sony won the Xbox One versus PS4 era. But with the development of Bethesda, a big-name company, having the guts to shun Sony with one of their games, do you believe that this could be a problem for Sony moving forward if more companies start to do this, thus putting Xbox back into the race? Many people believe that Sony has the better lineup of first-party games compared to Xbox, with titles such as The Last of Us or Uncharted, or Horizon Zero Dawn, Until Dawn, and God of War, compared to Xbox's list of exclusives including Forza, Halo, Titanfall, Crackdown, and Gears. Who do you believe has the better line of exclusives? And do you believe that the Fortnite crossplay issue could prove problematic for Sony if they don't correct themselves?
If Sony stays on their path of no crossplays, then people are just going to try to exclude them because it's cool to.
And as for who has the better exclusives, who do you believe has it?
I personally like the Xbox exclusives, but I'm more partial to PlayStation than anything else.
Lastly, before we move on to our next topic, do you agree that Xbox was winning the battle between the 360 and the PS3?
I did not.
Okay. I was asking because at that time I feel Halo was still a bigger deal than it is now. Just look at the issue with Halo 6, but we'll get to that later on. Question 3. More developments have been made in the IGN plagiarism case surrounding Philip Muchin's Dead Cells review, a game we will talk about heavily later on. Simply put, he has plagiarized a lot of things, including reviews for Doom, Skyrim, Fire Emblem Warriors by Nintendo Wire, Bayonetta 2 by Polygon, Super Mario Odyssey, Shantae, reviews by his fellow IGN contemporaries, and his own LinkedIn resume was copied from a job template website too. IGN has since removed everything that he was involved with, stating that they will redo the reviews he participated in the near future. Your question: what is your opinion on the new developments? Do you really care, and could this have a negative effect on the gaming community as a whole? Do you personally care about the gaming community at all, or is this story overblown?
The story is kind of overblown. I don't particularly care for it, but plagiarism happens all the time.
As a fellow gamer, you're not personally insulted by it, or should we not be at all?
Personally, I'm not insulted by it. After all, they say copying is the most genuine form of respect, but there are people that don't like their work being copied, and most people are like that.
Of course, I think we can guarantee that our review, or rather your review of Dead Cells, will not be plagiarized, correct?
You're absolutely right, because I'm still in the "this game is amazing, there's nothing wrong with it" phase.
Correct. Question 4, moving quickly. The Dishonored studio, a studio I believe you like, is taking a break from the franchise, perhaps to start a new IP, while searching for some new inspiration in the meantime. Another factor of this is that the games have sold well, but not extremely well, enough to make new installments a surefire thing. The studio doesn't know if they'll return to the franchise, but if they do, they may change some of the gameplay mechanics to make it more interesting. Your question: what is your opinion on the Dishonored franchise? What games have you played, and would you like the series to continue or stop here? Are you surprised about what they said about sales being good but not overwhelming? The first part, what's your opinion on the Dishonored franchise?
I like the Dishonored franchise. I think it's a very good franchise. It's very, very strong. The gameplay is fun, and the mechanics of it make it hard, but very rewarding.
Do you believe that the studio should take a break to find new inspiration rather than rush a game that may receive low scores or lower reputation for the studio?
It's better to take a break and get inspiration back than just rushing something out of development, because if they rush something out of development, it's not going to be as good a product as if you spent years developing it.
Quickly, before we go on, Ellinesh is currently playing Lost Spear. He's just about to be reporting the game. Your next boss is the hated frog boss that everyone was talking about. Any thoughts going into this?
Not particularly. I had a fairly easy time with the previous boss before this one. I'm pretty sure that won't last.
We'll see how the frog goes. He is only minutes away from it. We'll have him address it if he gets to it. Question 5. When something is popular, everyone seems eager to follow in some situations. With the recent rise in popularity of the Battle Royale genre thanks to the popularity of Fortnite, games such as the upcoming Battlefield 5 and Call of Duty Black Ops 4 have taken to its mantle too. Your question: do you agree with the decision to implement Battle Royale modes into these games? In the case of Call of Duty Black Ops 4, they have chosen to implement this mode over that of a new campaign. Your question: do you agree with that decision? And have you enjoyed previous Call of Duty campaigns before? And lastly, are campaigns a vital part of Call of Duty in your opinion? The first part: Battle Royale over story. Good idea or bad idea?
Bad idea.
People should not copycat, you think?
If people have their own ideas, it's better that way, because Battle Royales, they get boring real quick.
Is the campaign a vital part of Call of Duty in your opinion? And what Call of Duty games have you played?
Is it a vital part? No. People can enjoy Call of Duty without the campaign. Some people do enjoy it without the campaign. However, the only Call of Duty games I've played are Black Ops 2 and Ghosts.
Viewers, this is the part of the game where I've already told him you see the termite nuking in a few minutes. Getting his reaction to that should be, we'll see. Next question. We're moving along quickly, we're more than halfway done with the rundown. Red Dead Redemption 2 is getting a lot of hype. A lot of people have even considered it for a Game of the Year already before its release. And some people also think that it will be a generational changing game, such as The Last of Us, Final Fantasy VII, and others. Your question: are you in on the hype personally? What are your thoughts on the Red Dead Redemption franchise? Is this your type of game? What are your thoughts on Rockstar Games as a studio, best known for the Grand Theft Auto series, Max Payne, and LA Noire?
No.
Will this game be generational changing, like The Last of Us and Final Fantasy VII?
It could be.
Next question. Cloud gaming was a hot topic at E3 2018 this year. Simply put, some studios and hardware designers get more money if consumers buy games directly from their online store instead of retailers such as Walmart and GameStop. At E3 this year, 3 studios mentioned that cloud gaming was in their future plans, making people start to believe that physical games may become abolished in the next couple of years, coupled with the fact that Xbox may have begun experimenting with a cloud-based system that doesn't accept physical games like we mentioned last week. At E3 2013, CEO of Xbox, Phil Spencer, said that their hardware team is already working on the Xbox One successor, and that they were heavily studying a future that involves cloud gaming. Ubisoft CEO stated that there will be only one more gaming generation with consoles during their press conference, and that after that, there will only be streaming for everyone. EA also promoted cloud gaming as part of their conference too. Your question. How do you feel about Ubisoft CEO stating that the next gaming generation will be the last to consist of consoles, and that after that, streaming will be the mainline revenue for everything? I'll start with that question. How do you feel about these statements?
Very unhappy.
That leads me to my next question. How do you feel about the debate between physical games and digital games?
I prefer physical games.
What is it about physical games that you like more?
The fact that if my console gets hacked or anything like that, and my data gets corrupted or anything like that, I won't lose the data for the game if I have a physical copy.
Very good reason. Just look at Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and how it was removed temporarily, scaring some people on the Wii Shop as soon as it was ported to the Switch. Your thoughts on that?
No clue.
Is that a good reason though if they're going to remove games like that without telling you?
If they're gonna remove games, then they should at least let somebody know. But that is a pretty good reason if they get hacked or something like that.
Can you imagine stores like Walmart not having a gaming section, since Ubisoft believes that gaming will be completely on phones and computers in 2 decades, and that consoles will be no more? Can you imagine stores like GameStop closing down? And if this happened, would you still support the gaming industry?
Personally, I like going to GameStop and talking to the salespeople because they're very friendly. They recommend you games to play, and they're very welcoming, especially if you're a new player. So, would I support the new online thing? No, I wouldn't.
You have mentioned interest in getting PS Plus, but would this change your opinion at the risk of closing down physical stores?
If it all rested only on me, I would probably never get a PlayStation Plus membership again. But it doesn't only rest on me. I'm not the only person in the world.
True, it's an interesting topic. Maybe not the happiest one, similarly to how, I don't know what's out of this, at GameStop, that they want to literally put them out of business, or that they want to, Square wants to stop doing turn-based games. What affects you more in your opinion?
Affecting me more would probably be Square not doing turn-based anymore.
Correct, since you love a lot of RPGs. You're going to the town where, you meet the villagers now, just so you guys know. Next question. Quick one. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are set to come out on November 11th. Your question is this. How do you feel about these games? Which one would you pick up, if at all? Or are you waiting for the next core Pokemon game that'll kick off the next generation of Pokemon games? Also, have you enjoyed Pokemon games in the past?
I myself have enjoyed Pokemon games in the past. I'm not looking forward to Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, I don't really want to try them out, but BSTD over here brings it, I guess I'll try it out.
You care more about the next gen mainline game?
Yes.
So you would try the new one next year, that's a main core Pokemon game?
Yes.
Okay. Question 9, a game you know a lot about, Starcraft, I assume, correct? Diablo 3 is coming to Nintendo Switch in fall this year. This is the first Blizzard game to come to a Nintendo system in 15 years since Starcraft on the Nintendo 64, although that game featured drastic gameplay changes compared to the computer to make it work. Blizzard's CEO recently said in an interview with Nintendo's Reggie Fils-Aimé that Diablo 3 could pave the way for Overwatch and other Blizzard games to eventually be ported to Switch, which got a lot of people thinking about the possibility of Starcraft being ported to the Switch as well. Your question: have you played Starcraft before? What do you think? And do you think it would work on the Switch? Would you be fine with it if it had gameplay changes to make it work? And would you also consider buying Overwatch on the Switch? First, let's start with Starcraft. Compromise controls to get it on Switch. Are you interested?
The compromised controls would make the game less like a strategy game and more of just a let's click things until something happens.
I would ask, is it impossible to play on the Switch? And I'm sorry, I said Starcraft. They want to put Starcraft 2. Is it impossible to do on the Switch, or could you see it happening?
It might happen. If Diablo 3 has a measure of success, then maybe they will port it over.
The fact that it was on the N64, the original, that raises chances.
Yes.
And last question on this. Your opinion on StarCraft in general. I don't know, do you prefer one or two more?
I prefer StarCraft 2.
Okay. Last two questions. Number 1. Life is Strange 2 trailer released yesterday. Today, Life is Strange 2 trailer dropping. What were your thoughts on it? You saw it today earlier. What did you think?
It wasn't very appealing to me.
Did you like the original?
I did.
People have called it a cult classic. Do you agree?
That's my opinion differs from everyone else's.
Did it warrant a successor in your opinion?
I think it should have stayed off where it was.
You're coming across a character quickly where, you meet this character. We talked about the final boss and how maybe one day after you play it here, you might want to do some clips for the channel of Lost Spin the PS4, maybe. This character makes your entire team invincible for 2 turns, which is what people have said on game FAQs, a necessity to beat the final boss, which is insanely hard at this game. You said it comes down to whether or not you like the character, right?
If I like the character, he'll go in my party. I'm just gonna attempt it without him.
Gotcha. And if you pull this off, you would capture this and post it, perhaps.
If I do it without him, I can just rub it in people's faces.
Okay. Last question. I'm going to run through a bunch of V3 games that you might be interested to play. For clarification, I'm not going to mention Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition or Persona 4 Golden Remake and Jump Force Octopath Traveler, because we had a conversation where you said you were interested in trying those games, correct?
Correct.
We'll talk about Jump Force later on, an anime game, of course. We're going through some titles. You give me yes, no, maybe if you're interested, and we'll see what you think. All right. So as for the first game I want to run by you, here it is. Tales of... Nope, I just said I was going to say that. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
No.
The Division 2.
No.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
No.
Rage 2.
No.
Doom Eternal.
No.
Wolfenstein, Youngblood.
Yes.
Fallout 76.
Yes.
The Elder Scrolls 6.
Yes.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Just Cause 4.
No.
Halo Infinite, which the director has recently titled Halo 6.
Yes.
Metro Exodus.
No.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes.
Devil May Cry 5.
Yes.
Gears of War 5.
No.
Cyberpunk 2077 by the Witcher Studio CD Projekt Red.
Yes.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country DLC.
Yes.
Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yes.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate we plan to play together. How do you feel about it?
Interested.
The Last of Us Part 2.
No.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Yes.
Noah 2.
Yes.
Spider-Man PS4.
No.
Okay, here's the bulk of our show, guys. We're almost done. For this episode this week, we have 2 more sections. The vocal point, but before that, the currently playing update. The currently playing only has 1 question comparing Madden to Fire Emblem Heroes. After that, we're going to run through a bunch of titles that we will update you on since our progress last week. Just look back over the past 7 days or whatever since our last podcast came out. So here we go. I personally have a feeling about Madden Ultimate Team. Really, I'm just gonna paraphrase this. Take orbs for example. When Fire Emblem Heroes, coins are the currency in Madden. Coins you use to buy packs. The lowest packs are $7 in real money, or 7,500 coins. Or in other cases, but you also have to use like the orbs, for example, in that game, the coins to play online. So to play online, you got to use like it's like in the arena. You have to use orbs to play the arena. That you use to buy orbs or buy characters. What's your opinion on that? Should they be separate currencies?
That's very annoying.
You can't. It's just like playing with a 3-star team against all 5 stars who are max 40. Is that a decent comparison?
That's really annoying.
With that said, your question. Do you believe that Fire Emblem Heroes is a generous game in terms of giving out orbs and giving out free 5-star heroes on occasion? Because just recently in their Tempest trial, I believe they gave us 4 5-star heroes you could get?
No, it was 3.
Okay. Do you believe you have more of a chance to be successful in Heroes, regardless of how much money you make, because of how much orbs they give you for free? I mean, how I get legendary orbs, when I didn't have a job, I would just log in every day and do the challenges, and at the end of a month, I'd have like $130 putting out no money. Do you think they're more generous in that it's a more even playing field than Madden?
It's a much more even playing field because the coins you have to buy.
True, and if you don't have a debit card to buy the coins, you can't play at all, which is a bad idea, right?
This is dumb.
As a Fire Emblem fan of the mainstream games, and we're going to talk about Sacred Stones eventually, how do you feel about Heroes? A lot of fans of the main game think that Heroes is a dimmed-down version of the series for beginners, similarly to how people view Pokemon Go and claim it's for beginners too. Is that an accurate comparison, and do you think it's true?
Say that last bit one more time.
People think that Pokemon Go is a dumbed-down version of Pokemon, whereas Fire Emblem Heroes is a dumbed-down version of the mainstream game for newbies and beginners. Do you believe it's an accurate comparison? And if so, or if not, is it accurate to say at all?
It's made simpler for newer people to the franchise. So, Fire Emblem Heroes, someone new to the Fire Emblem franchise can pick it up, learn the mechanics, and then go to a Fire Emblem game and be like, oh, I've seen these mechanics before, these make sense to me now. Pokemon Go, not as much. It's not as much a easy to learn thing that you can just transfer over to the Pokemon games. But it still gives you a learning curve for the actual games.
It's a good entry to the series. It's also, let's accept the fact that it's also free, That helps too.
It's better that it's free, yeah.
Quickly, let's talk about Lost Spear in the weekly update. We have a few games on the weekly update you can see here. Follow along with us. Our rundown is in the description sometimes. Lost Spear right now, you're about to fight the guy who joins you, as the invincibility guy. Where are you at right now? What are you doing?
I'm currently in the middle of a conversation with people trying to destroy a civilization.
This game is doing a better job, you said, of not following tropes of like Satsuna did, right?
I Am Setsuna, I didn't like it, terrible. But Lost Sphere, it's got some people that just, the way they talk is evil, and they are evil, you can tell. But it's still got a good story.
And what were your thoughts on Zimbot that you told me today that we did not mention in the last podcast?
Bullshit, broken boss fight. He's an asshole.
You have your Switch, you can tell them yourself. It's not, we can't play this game at the moment, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but from what you have played so far, I would say over 200 hours. It's a guess. Are you impressed? And what are your thoughts on the series?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a beautiful game. The fact that the blade system is in place, that makes the game pretty unique. The randomization for the blades needs to be worked on just a little bit, though. Just the amount of crap that I'm going through for a common blade that I'm not even getting. I'm getting rare blades over a common blade.
It's much more, the summoning, is it like Heroes, but different?
Yeah, there's no way to penny break yourself. You get 3 choices on one summon. It'll cycle through 3 different choices, and what the last one is what you'll get. I'm trying to get a giant with a Mega Lance weapon, and I'm getting everything but a giant with a Mega Lance weapon.
Gotcha. It's a game that maybe we'll get some footage of eventually, your Switch, for viewers. At the moment, it's,
It's at Nintendo. The right side of my Switch stopped connecting to the controller.
Would you recommend the best way to play Switch is with the Pro Controller personally, or the Joy-Cons?
I mean, I use the Pro Controller more often than not, but the joysticks, like the Joy controllers, you can actually control it with motions. The Pro Controller is just like a regular gaming controller.
True. There's a game we'll talk about called Dead Cells in a moment, but is that the reason why I don't think you have a lot of progress on Darkest Dungeon this week?
Yeah, I got Dead Cells about a week ago, because I ordered it pre-ordered, and I've mostly only been playing that.
You got it early. Care to tell us how you found it early and how you heard about the game?
I heard about the game when it was, pre-release. No, not pre-release. Wow, I'm blanking.
Beta.
Yeah, beta. Through a YouTube channel called Avac. I can have BTSD over there, put it in the comment, put it in the description. Avac, he actually explains the game. It's roguelike, and it's a very fun game. I found out through him, and I was interested almost immediately in the game. I wanted to try it. So I pre-ordered it for my birthday, and came early, so it's a great birthday gift right there. And I've basically only been playing that.
As to how good the game is, it's not a review at the moment, you're still playing it. Your first impressions. That's what this currently playing section update is. Your first impressions, has it lived up to your expectations?
Yeah. It's very difficult. Every time I die, I'm moving forward at least one step, because I'm using my progress in the game to upgrade my skills, so the next playthrough is just a little bit easier or harder, depending on what I get when it randomizes my stuff.
Quickly, I'm looking at the screen of Lost Spear. Is this snow or is this Lost?
That is Lost.
Okay, because you said something funny about snow if it appears in this game.
I would instantly stop playing the game, because I Am Setsuna made me hate the snow in video games.
Gotcha. Tales of Berseria, have you played it since repicking it up? I know it's a game you put down for a while along with Zestria, but you intend to finish the game. You called it one of, I think your favorite games that we played together.
Berseria is, I picked it up at least once, and I made it a little further into the story, but I'm not far enough to give a review of it.
Your first impressions, though, are positive?
Yeah, I like Velvet Crow, it's pretty awesome.
A step in the right direction after Zestria perhaps wasn't?
Yes.
This is a shorter one. Is there anything you're doing in Fire Emblem Heroes this week? You're just looking forward to the next summoning legendary, which is next Tuesday. Which, who knows, we may even be able to get live reactions, I don't know.
Basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just hoarding orbs, and I'm going to dump 20 orbs into the Braves that just came out, and if I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. Other than that, no, I'm not really doing anything.
You're going for who again in the Brave Pool?
Veronica.
Sounds awesome. Now we have a rematch with Zimron, correct?
Bullshit.
Vocal suits are still inactive. Okay, guys, last part of the show. If you want to see what games I'm playing, Final Fantasy Type 0, or Story of Seasons, Trio of Towns, watch BTSD Bullshit, which comes out before this show once a week. You can also see gameplay that I'll be posting from my PS4 of that on my channel. Ellinesh's channel will feature gameplay from whatever games he's playing. So for his content, be sure to check out on his channel eventually, perhaps Lost Spear, at some point in time, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Darkest Dungeon when he returns to it, maybe Tales of Berseria from time to time, a lot of Dead Cells by the time this episode goes up, and maybe, if he's up to it one day, maybe how he clears out some tough maps with his team, in Fire Emblem Heroes, or maybe even something. It's up to him. We'll see what happens. The vocal point of today's show and the topic, as we end off, anime's place in video games. Ellinesh, what role does anime play in the video games industry? Does it have the same following as other games? Are video games good in your opinion? Are there any anime series you wished had their own games that currently do not? How do you view visual novels? Have you played any before? And what video games could have their own anime series? We'll take this little by little, and we will end today's show by talking about my list of the top 10 that comes off the top of his head. To start, what role does anime play in the video games industry, in your opinion?
Anime makes the art style look different, sometimes better, sometimes worse.
It's a lot of games are in the more cartoonish style. Off the top of my head, I might be wrong, but you can think of sometimes the Tales series is some more cartoonish. You can think of maybe not cartoonish, more like anime. Not like it's different than like The Last of Us, which is like a very realistic game.
In this fight.
Yeah.
Crap.
Another one would be Blaze Blue is not in the fully realistic style like The Last of Us, but
He's crit every single attack again. There it is again. Every single attack he's crit.
So 4 crits in a row in one attack.
Yes.
And there's no status element going around, right?
I have the casualty thing on, which boosts the active time gauge when you're critting, but he's just critting every single hit.
We'll keep you posted on what happens. The town, the Empire, have they lit the town on fire, it seems?
They lit the town on fire.
Back to the question, are anime video games good in your opinion?
I myself like the anime video games, yes, but some aren't very good.
Are there any anime series you wish that had their own video games that currently do not?
Not off the top of my head.
Visual novels, do you like playing them just simply?
I haven't played any visual novels myself, but they look interesting, and I do want to play them.
there was a funny topic we had earlier. I mentioned a list of games in the preparation of this podcast, and one title I'm sure he'll elaborate on briefly. What are your thoughts on the following games? The series of Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm.
I personally like them because they're fun and you get to mess around with the characters in Naruto.
It's a very fun series. From what I've seen, I've tried it once or twice with you.
And gotten your ass whooped.
Yeah. Something similar happened in Shadowverse recently too, didn't it?
Yeah, I whooped your ass there too.
Perhaps talk about Shadowverse a different day. Ghost in the Shell PS2, I think you said you were interested in trying that game one day. You do have a PS2.
I am very interested in playing that, yeah.
Dragon Ball games.
I mean, they're not very fun once you get past the, oh, I'm flying, oh, I'm sending giant exploding death balls at people.
Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn caught your attention before because you said last week you were a fan of Koei Tecmo, but you did not know about this game.
What in the actual hell did you just say to me?
Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn. You said last week that you were a fan of Koei Tecmo Studios, who does the Warriors series. Yet you were surprised to find out about this title. Why?
Dynasty Warriors Gundam
Reborn.
That makes it sound like they took the characters from Dynasty Warriors games and put them in Gundam suits. And that just is super weird as all hell.
Well, you're interested in trying it.
I'll give it a try just to see if it's as weird as it just looks.
You also said you're interested in trying, it's not an anime game, but Tokyo Mirage Destiny, which is a crossover between Fire Emblem and, what was it? Shin Megami Tensei.
I'm interested in that, if only to see how difficult that is.
There's a Quam breakdancing section, how much are you in that?
The hell did you just say?
A Quam breakdancing section. How interesting does that sound to you?
That I'd pay to see that, yeah.
Okay. The Attack on Titan games.
I'd try them, if only because I haven't.
Do you recommend the anime?
Yeah, I'd recommend it, if only just so that people can be weirded out by it.
Or grossed out?
Not everyone is like you.
Lastly, Sword Art Online. As an anime.
It does very poorly as an anime after, like, episode 6.
It's popular for a reason. The least maybe you can do is check it out. There you guys have it. Till next time to see more of the Ellinesh podcast. Check out the footage that you will see one day. Maybe even a video of how to defeat Zimrod. I'm gonna let him focus now. Check out his videos. Check out my show. We'll see you guys next time. Any last words from Ellinesh?
Have a great night.
See you guys.